memory. So
Okay.
it's just a matter of getting into the season and letting things happen. And right now, like I said, Giancarlo Stanton's not going to hit 118 for the rest of the season.
No, you hope not.
So and you have Aaron Hicks is on his way to coming back. That's going to be, he'll be out in the outfield, and then Stanton will be back to the DH. Gary Sanchez missed the last couple of games. He had a cramp in his right calf when he was catching the 14-inning game the other night, and he cramped up in the 14th inning. That's something that I don't understand. The training staff's got to be on that. How do you have a major league player cramp up during a game?
Was it cold?
He was catching, and he came up, caught the pitch, and then just dropped. You know how you get a cramp in your calf?
Yeah.
Just he was done, and he's trying to walk it off and stretch it out. And he took off yesterday, and they figured with the day off today, he'll be back for the Red Sox series. I mean, it's not a major injury, but you know how that is. I mean, you cramp up like that.
But if
it
your
takes
legs,
usually
you're supposed to take. Well, I don't know about that, but you're supposed to take like a banana or potassium.
Something, yeah. I mean, that's like I said, the training staff has to keep on top of that. Make sure during games, especially long games, that guys are maintaining themselves. Hey, get a drink. Make sure you do. That's pretty standard stuff.
I agree with you.
So I don't know how that happens.
Anyway, we're going to take a break right now. 516-572-7440. That's the number to call if you have a comment or question about anything in the world of sports. I'm Rob Leonard. With me is award-winning sports writer Tim Leonard. Tim, you're at Twitter at
Real Tim Leonard.
All hit music.
For all those songs radio has forgotten about, join me, Big Ed, Mondays from 10 a.m. till noon for The Good Gold Show. We'll bring back all the great hits of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and more. The sounds of doo-wop to disco, all the Motown, soul, and great rock and roll. We'll even take your requests and dedications to The Good Gold Show.
Music.
On the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
See, this is hi-fi, okay? High fidelity. You know what that means? That means this is the highest quality fidelity. Hi-fi. Those are two very important things to have in the stereo system.
Join me, Kim Tracy, on High Fidelity for a mix of music with a focus on newer music and lesser-known artists every every Thursday at 2 p.m. on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and streaming with the iHeartRadio and TuneIn apps.
Okay.
Go!
Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out.
Check it out.
My brother broke up with a girl because we call it nose breath. But, it's like the air that comes out of your nose. Because a lot of people be like, oh, what's nose breath?
What?
Have you guys ever heard this nose breath?
I have not heard nose breath.
That's amazing, though.
Trying to comprehend.
I learned so much from you.
Smell?
I'm sorry.
No, for real. Like, can you ever tell that someone has a cold because of the way they smell?
Well, no, not because of the way
Wait a minute. So she drinks bath water.
Is your family German Shepherds? Wow.
She can smell if someone is sick.
Smell when they're
It's
sick.
super sad.
You've never been like, ew, you smell like cold? Like, you guys
You smell like cold. Yeah.
You guys make me
You
feel
smell like flu.
insane.
The Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9. On the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
Welcome back to From the Press Box right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Streaming on the iHeartRadio app. Also later on becomes a podcast via Spreaker.com and also iTunes. So if you missed the show or want to hear it again, you can do it that way.
By the way, brother, we are currently international.
Ooh.
My man David Johnson is on the Facebook Live from London.
Is he an Arsenal fan?
Shut up.
I don't know.
No. Tottenham, proud Tottenham
supporter. Are all your soccer fans Tottenham fans only? Do you have any
Well, my friends who are alarm fans support a whole wide array of different clubs, but there's only
and Mike Peters is Arsenal, right?
No, Mike Peters is Manchester United.
Manchester
You need
United.
to learn this.
How
do you not
do I
know
remember this?
It's on a promo the man did for us.
I know, but what am I?
Come on. So. But for the most part, people who will watch the show on the Facebook Live or they see it through what the post that I put up on Facebook or whatever. Those will be Tottenham fans.
Ah, okay. Just checking.
I am on good terms with only a few Arsenal fans, a small handful.
Because I know you're friends with Croce, and he's a huge Red Sox fan.
It's a personality flaw.
I can understand that. The thing about being up in Boston, they don't have two teams per sport like New York does.
Right.
So you're forced to be a Red Sox fan, basically. Or
well,
Patriots
I mean, they have
fan.
the New England Revolution up there for the
And they have
soccer.
I'm not talking about soccer. I'm just talking about teams in general. You're sort of forced to be that team, like that team.
Right.
The Red Sox, the Revolution,
You only have one
Patriots, the Celtics, the Bruins.
You only have one choice.
Yeah. So
There's a lack of options up there.
It's
sad.
It is sad. I agree.
It's sad. Chicago, like we said, the second city.
Yeah.
Plenty of options.
Yeah, plenty.
White Sox, Cubs.
They even have a minor league hockey team playing in
True.
Chicago. So
okay. If for some reason you don't like the Blackhawks, which I can't imagine why you don't like the Blackhawks. They've had a lot of success in recent years.
Right.
But you have another team.
Yeah. Okay, let's start off. You want to talk Giants next, but you know what? Let's go to the immediate thing
Go
right
off
now.
script, brother.
Let's go off script. Garth Snow has to go. Snow must
touched
go.
on this last week.
I know, but you know what? The season's now over. We're waiting for John Tavares to be signed. If he signs, we don't know. If you're an Islander fan, your fingers are crossed. If you're the Islanders, you better make sure you sign him. He is your future, your past, and everything else right now with this team.
But here's the thing. All right, you say you better make sure you sign him.
Yes.
The only way that John Tavares is going to leave the Islanders is if he decides he wants to be part of a Stanley Cup contender.
Right.
And I'm not sure that the Islanders are that franchise. So
over the next few years, I think you're right.
Money might not mean anything.
Right.
So if John Tavares, if the Islanders make him the biggest offer, which they have to,
they will.
But he might say, you know what, for a couple $1 million, I'm going to go.
Well, it's interesting.
To the Las Vegas Golden Knights or whatever.
I think it was Larry Brooks of the Post a couple of days ago wrote an article. What if Tavares got signed by the Rangers? Just because he would stay in New York then, but be a little more of a higher profile with the Rangers.
I don't think he wants to be a higher profile guy though. He's not dying for the spotlight. He's not one of those guys. He likes kind of operating in underneath the radar. He doesn't want to be that guy. He doesn't want to be that star.
Well,
that's not something he craves.
I'm not sure if the Rangers would be the team to go to. We'll talk about them in a minute.
No, it wouldn't be.
But Garth Snow, and we know he's friendly with Tavares. Do you keep him around for that reason? I mean, that's the question.
Well, we touched on this last week very briefly, and I wanted to kind of get into it a little deeper here today. You're almost in a catch-22 with Garth Snow because based on Snow's job performance, he should have been fired a long time ago.
Oh God, yeah.
All right, so never mind what's happening right now because here we are with the Islanders. They just missed the playoffs yet again. They were dismal in the last 20 or so games of the season. I mean, I don't know. You'd have to look it up and see what their record was, but horrible, just atrocious for a team that at one point was one of the wild cards for the playoffs.
Yes,
I'm just a terrible finish. They kept losing game after game after game. So, does Tavares want to continue to stay on that treadmill and hope that the franchise figures it out? And if that's the case, then does ownership make or leave Garth Snow as the guy to figure it out? I don't think Garth Snow should be employed anymore by the Islanders, or somebody else wants to give him a job. Great,
no, I
but
don't.
he's the guy that he's not the guy to lead this team. And when you look at what the Rangers just did, firing Alain Vigneault, guy didn't make the playoffs this year for the first time in 5 years.
Right,
he's out.
Well, the thing that gets me about, and I guess we're going to jump to that. You know what? The Rangers, I thought, really did a bad job the last 2 months. Remember, they made the statement, well, you know what? We're working towards next year. And, well, let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish. And if you're going to do that, and you're going to fire, you're going to fire your coach at the end of the season, why don't you fire him at that point? Because there was a point during this run where the Rangers actually were playing pretty good. And every Ranger fan I know is all depressed because, we're going to have to prepare for next year, or nothing's going to happen this year. But you know what? Maybe if they had fired their coach, like the Islanders did last year, that maybe something might have kicked them in the pants or something, which happens a lot in sports where the coach gets fired and the team wakes up.
True, but you need to have the successor, and you need to have that.
They didn't have that, I'm sure. But
I mean, that's the other thing with the Islanders, though. Is Doug Waite the guy to be in charge of this team? Because you can't just put all of this on Garth Snow. Doug Waite was a big part of the reason why the Islanders were the best offense in the league, but also had the worst defense by far.
They had a horrible defense. They couldn't stop people.
But that's my point, is that a coach at some point needs to demand accountability from his players from a defensive standpoint. Because it's one thing to keep scoring goals and to lead the league in scoring, but if you can't stop anybody, none of that matters.
Yep.
So these are the dilemmas facing the Islanders right now. Personally, if I'm the owners, I'm saying goodbye to Garth Snow. I'm saying goodbye to Doug Waite, and I'm bringing in a new GM. You need to find somebody with some kind of vision. Now, how does that impact the Tavares negotiations? That's what you need to figure out. But the owners, even more so to me than the GM, needs to be in touch with Tavares, and they need to convince him how important he is to what's going to happen with this franchise going forward, and they need to sell him on whatever vision or blueprint that they have for this team. Because it can't just be about, we're going to have that new arena in a few years. It's 2 or 3 years away, probably 3 years away.
3 years away.
So that, you know what, John Tavares doesn't care about a new arena.
Not at this moment.
Because he's going to be the contract that he's going to sign is probably going to be for 6 or 7 years. Right. So by the time they move into the new building, he's already halfway through his contract.
But I have a feeling if he is thinking the right way, and this is what I would do if I'm him, I would re-sign with the Islanders because you want to stay here. But put in his contract, I demand to be traded clause. And if you think the team is not going to do anything at a certain point, you want to get the hell out. So that's what I would do because you're right. I think he wants to be on a Stanley Cup winner. Are the Islanders going to be that team next year? No. Maybe in 2 years, but not right now.
Well, I don't think he's going to have any kind of clause like that, but I think it would come to a point where if that's how he felt, he would tell management, look, you need to get rid of me. You need to get me out of here and put me in a place where I can win. And this way, the Islanders would at least get some sort of haul of prospects or draft picks back for him.
Right. But if I'm him, I'm doing that.
But the Islanders aren't going to put like an opt-out clause into his contract.
Why not? If that's
those don't exist in hockey. They exist in baseball.
Well,
baseball's really the only sport.
He should ask for it because I really think that if you're going to give the rest of your career basically to a team that's not going to get you into the playoffs and you want to be in the playoffs, then you just don't stay around because I like it. That's part of it, but you do want to win. And you know what? I look at the team right now. Matthew Barzal. I love this guy. Great player. 63 assists this year, 85 points. Anders Lee, 40 goals.
One of the best power forwards in the league, Anders Lee. And played on a line with Tavares that was extremely effective this year.
Right. So you have Halak, 20 wins this year. Really
they need a new goalie.
They need a new goalie. We know that.
They need basically to revamp the entire defense.
Yes, they do. And Grice isn't going to hold them out the way
neither one of the goalies is good enough. I mean, one of those guys, keep one of those guys as your backup, but the Islanders need to acquire a goalie who is going to give them at least 60 games.
Yes,
because I'm not sold on the 2-goalie rotation. Today in today's NHL, you need a goalie who can give you 60 solid games, and you need to have that guy, and you need to have a number one, a real number one. It's not like back in the day with Billy Smith and Chico Resch when it was whoever was a hot guy would just keep playing until he wasn't hot anymore. Yeah. But today, like I said, in today's NHL, you need that guy. You need a guy like Braden Holtby for the Capitals or even Lundqvist for the Rangers. You need that kind of goalie. Plain and simple.
I agree.
So but the Islanders offensively is not the problem. The offense is phenomenal. They played extremely well on offense this year. But defensively, aside from Boychuk and Nick Leddy, blow it up. You need at least four good defensemen,